Good morning, it's June 18th. This is To My Liberal Friends. The war between Iran and Israel is one that can have various outcomes. In Congress, they're getting nervous because nobody wants to see the United States involved in the Middle East war, but they should also recognize there are some opportunities here that have not been available for quite some time. Under Joe Biden, Iran was confident that nothing would be done to challenge him. They've used that time to advance their development of enriched uranium with the sole purpose of being able to build a nuclear weapon. Once Iran had that capability, they would hold the entire Middle East, and for that matter the rest of the world, hostage to their theocratic ambitions. Israel realized they would be the one most at risk, so they took preemptive action and have attempted to destroy as much of Iran's military leadership and ability to retaliate from air attacks. At the moment, Israel owns the air above Iran, and specifically Tehran. To fully understand the significance, you have to go back to World War II. Until the Allies had destroyed Germany's air power and air defenses, the casualties were high. But once they owned it, meaning the air, they were able to win the war. Donald Trump left the G7 meeting in Canada, and the reports were that he was meeting with his military leadership in the Situation Room. He has called for Iran to make an unconditional surrender and vaguely threatened the United States joining Israel in the attacks. One option for Washington would be to provide the bunker buster bombs, believed necessary to significantly damage the Fordow nuclear fuel enrichment plant, built deeply into a mountain. But such a bomb would have to be dropped from an American aircraft, since Israel does not possess the heavy bombers necessary for such an attack. This would have wide-ranging ramifications and could jeopardize any chance of Trump getting Iran into talks in its nuclear program. And to be clear, the U.S. possesses the weapon needed. It's a massive ordnance penetrator bomb in the American arsenal. The roughly 30,000-pound bomb is a precision-guided bomb designed to attack deeply buried and hardened bunkers and tunnels, and that's according to the U.S. Air Force description. It's believed to be able to penetrate about 200 feet, that's 61 meters below the surface, before exploding, and the bombs can be dropped one after another, effectively drilling deeper and deeper at each successive blast. Going back to the possible scenarios, I believe there are four of them. The first is already occurring, with Iran attempting to strike back at Israel, avoiding U.S. bases in the region, using drones and missiles, but to date, they've not caused the damage that would slow Israel down. The second scenario is if Iran needs to make a bigger statement, it could go big and broad. In addition to hitting Israel, it could strike U.S. personnel, facilities, and partners from Iraq in the Persian Gulf. It could also activate its proxies, the Houthis, Iraq Shia militias, and what remains of Hezbollah in a bid to set the region on fire. Notice I did not mention Hamas because they've pretty much been decimated. That strategy has appeal as a way of restoring deterrence against dangerous enemies. It would remind the world that even a weakened Iran can cause real pain, but it would also cross the red line Trump has drawn against attacks on U.S. targets. So Iran would find itself fighting a bigger war against Israel and the U.S., fraught with existential dangers to an already battered regime. The third possibility, the most dangerous one, nuclear breakout, could be just as dangerous for the world. Depending on how much nuclear infrastructure is left, particularly the buried, hardened uranium enrichment facility at Fordow, Tehran could withdraw from the Non-Proliferation Treaty and make a desperate push for the bomb. Iranian leaders might see this as their best option for salvation, but given how badly Tehran's conventional capabilities and proxy network have been degraded, if Iran did make it across the finish line, the result would be terrifying: a bloody, vengeful terrorist state with the destructive power of a nuclear arm. Cannot let that happen. That leaves the final option, one Trump is urging Tehran to take. Iran could wave the white flag and cut a nuclear deal, perhaps after a symbolic, face-saving retaliation. That deal would be far worse than anything Tehran might have hoped for a few days ago. It would be close to the Libya option, the total dismantling of the nuclear program, as opposed to Obama 2.0. The Iranian regime, which views the nuclear program as a guarantee of both its survival and national security, would hate to take this path, but it might consider it if other options lead to disaster. The Islamic Republic has made painful concessions before. If Iran chooses this course, it would be a remarkable reversal. Less than 2 years ago, Israel was badly shaken, and Tehran and its proxies seem on the rise. It would be a triumph for a nuclear non-proliferation regime that has lately been under strain. It would be a diplomatic windfall for Trump, who didn't want an Israeli strike but now might benefit from it. It would be a reminder that force doesn't always undercut diplomacy. It can, in fact, be indispensable to its success. And so I would suggest to the members of Congress they would pass a resolution stopping any U.S. involvement to think twice. Allow the administration to use all of its possible threats to force Iran to the negotiating table. This is probably our best chance at ending Iran's nuclear program, and we should take it. This has been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening.